As the fierce battle raged on, the night was filled with the cries of warriors and the clash of weapons. Angada, the valiant son of Vali, burned with eagerness to fight and rushed toward the gallant Rakshas Kampana. Kampana, anticipating the challenge, hurled his heavy make in anger, striking Angada with great force and causing him to reel. Yet, Angada, rejuvenated by his indomitable spirit, seized a mountain peak and shattered Kampana with a mighty blow, sending the Rakshas crashing to the ground.
Witnessing Kampana's fall, Sonithaksha, a fearless hero, swiftly approached Angada in his chariot. With pointed arrows that glowed like fire at the time of dissolution, Sonithaksha struck Angada with a series of arrows Ksura, Ksurpra, Naracha, Vatsdanta, Silimukha, Karni, Salya, Vibda, and many more, each sharp and deadly. Angada, undaunted, countered with vigor, crumbling Sonithaksha's formidable bow, his chariot, and his arrows.
Enraged, Sonithaksha sprang into the sky, wielding his sword and shield. Angada, leaping higher, grasped Sonithaksha's hand and pierced his shoulder with the sword, the sound echoing across the battlefield. Angada's sword flashed again and again, roaring to terminate the remaining Rakshasas. Meanwhile, Sonita, adorned with golden armlets, seized an iron make and rushed behind Angada. Mighty Yupaksha and Prajaghna, in fury, assailed Angada's chariot. Angada, standing between Sonithaksha and Prajaghna, shone like a full moon between the Vishakha stars. Mainda and Dwivida, Angada's maternal uncles, took position to protect one another, facing the enemy with courage.
A momentous war erupted between the three Rakshasas Prajaghna, Yupaksha, and Sonithaksha and Vaanara chiefs Angada, Dwivida, and Mainda. Trees and rocks were hurled violently, and Prajaghna shattered them with his sword. The Vaanaras fought with trees and rocks, while Yupaksha tore through them. Sonithaksha crushed the trees hurled by Dwivida and Mainda with his make. Prajaghna, wielding a huge sword, rushed at Angada, who struck Prajaghna's sword arm with the Aswakaran tree, breaking the sword and sending it to the ground. Prajaghna, his sword fallen, clenched his fist hard as a thunderbolt. Sonithaksha struck Angada's forehead, causing him to falter, but Angada regained consciousness and struck Prajaghna on the head and trunk, making him fall.
Yupaksha, seeing his uncle exhausted and hurt, wielded his sword with tears in his eyes. Dwivida, furious, struck Yupaksha in the bosom and caught him. Sonithaksha, seeing his brother caught, struck Dwivida with his make, causing Dwivida to reel. Dwivida, regaining his strength, snatched the make from Sonithaksha. Mainda arrived and struck Yupaksha on the chest with his palm. Sonithaksha and Yupaksha contested with the two monkeys, pulling and throwing each other violently.
Dwivida tore Sonithaksha's face with his nails and threw him to the ground. Mainda pierced Yupaksha repeatedly, causing him to fall dead. Many heroes died, and the Rakshas army was distressed, seeking refuge with Kumbhakarn's son, Kumbha. Kumbha, restoring the confidence of the troops, drew up a strategy and performed a difficult deed in battle. He released arrows resembling poisonous serpents, shining like clouds with flashes of lightning. He struck Dwivida with a golden shafted arrow, causing Dwivida to fall, trembling. Mainda, seeing his brother shattered, hurled a rock at Kumbha, but Kumbha broke it with 5 sharp arrows. Kumbha struck Mainda in his private parts, causing him to lose consciousness. Angada, seeing his uncles fallen, attacked Kumbha with rocks and trees. Kumbha shattered the rocks, and blood flowed from Angada's injured eyes. Angada, covering his eyes, seized a sal tree and tore at Kumbha like an elephant. Kumbha struck Angada with 7 sharp arrows, causing Angada to scream and lose his senses.
Rama, hearing of Angada's pain, ordered Jambavan and the monkey leaders to help. The Vaanara tigers, full of anger, rushed to protect Angada, but Kumbha obstructed them with a volley of arrows. Sugriva, having Angada in his rear, rushed and assailed Kumbha, hurling trees at the Rakshasas. Kumbha covered the trees with sharp arrows, shining like dreadful satagnis. Sugriva, undistressed, snatched Kumbha's bow and broke it.
Sugriv leapt into Kumbha's chariot and praised Kumbha's valor. Kumbha held Sugriv's shoulders, and the two wrestled like intoxicated elephants, breathing heavily and letting out fire mixed with smoke. Sugriv lifted Kumbha and threw him into the ocean. Kumbha struck Sugriv with his fist, causing blood to flow. Sugriv, undeterred, struck Kumbha with his own fist, causing Kumbha to fall like a glowing planet from the sky. With Kumbha killed, the earth shook, and the Rakshasas feared even more.
Nikumbha, seeing his brother struck down by Sugriv, gazed at him with burning wrath. He took up an auspicious club, fierce as the peak of Mahendra mountain, adorned with gold, diamonds, and corals, and bearing Indra's banner. Nikumbha rode, his ornaments shining, his club whirling with the force of 7 winds, crashing in space and glowing like smokeless fire.
The heavens and the city of Vitpavati, the abodes of Gandharvs, stars, and planets, seemed to revolve with the spinning of Nikumbha's club. The glow of the club and Nikumbha's fire was formidable, striking fear into the Vaanaras. Only Hanuman stood firm, showing his chest. Nikumbha brought the iron club down on Hanuman's broad chest, but it split into 100 splinters and crumbled. Hanuman did not move, remaining steady like a mountain in an earthquake. Struck by the Rakshasa, Hanuman clenched his fist and, with vine god speed, crushed Nikumbha on the chest. Blood flowed like lightning in a cloud, but Nikumbha was unmoved. He caught hold of Hanuman and lifted him, causing the residents of Lanka to roar. Even while being carried, Hanuman struck Nikumbha with his adamant fist. Hanuman, released from Nikumbha's grip, sprang up and threw Nikumbha down with great effort. Hanuman then sprang onto Nikumbha's chest, twisted his neck with both arms, and broke it as Nikumbha cried terribly. With Nikumbha killed, a violent and fierce war erupted between Rama and Rakshasa Makra. The monkeys rejoiced, the earth shook, and the Rakshas army was overtaken by fear. Heaven appeared to crumble as Hanuman's victory resounded in all quarters. Ravana, furious and burning with anger at the deaths of Nikumbha and Kumbha, sent for Makra, the son of Khara. Go, my son, and kill the Vaanaras, Rama, and Lakshman, Ravana commanded. Makra, rejoicing at his father's words, greeted Ravana and departed early in the morning, eager for battle. Makra called for his chariot and the army, and the commander-in-chief responded, placing the army at his side. Makra ascended the chariot and ordered the charioteer to drive quickly. He spoke to the Rakshasas, urging them to fight violently ahead of him. I will kill Rama, Lakshman, Sugriv, and the Vaanaras with my arrows. I will terminate the Vaanara army with my pikes. Just as dry wood is burnt by fire, the Rakshasas, cruel and skilled in changing their forms, surrounded Makra, their appearance frightful, their bodies huge like elephants. The air filled with the beating of drums, blowing of conches, and clapping of arms. Portents appeared, whips dropped, standards fell, horses faltered, and shed tears. A dreadful wind blew, carrying dust. Ignoring the portents, the Rakshasas marched toward Rama and Lakshman, skilled in warfare and eager for battle. The night rangers, resembling elephants, clouds, and buffaloes, moved to and fro, declaring their intent to fight. Thus, the stage was set for another fierce encounter as the warriors of light and darkness prepared to clash once more beneath the shadowed skies of Lanka.